so first question ครับคุณอาผมมีวิ่งใหม่ให้ไหมครับ
ตะโกน
ได้ครับ
ตะโกนขาดรวนนายกฝากถามแขกของเรา
ครับ
เป็นมิสเตอร์ปองปอง
all the questions are for everyone else except อาจารย์โพพรนะครับ
ไทยยังไม่มีหน่วยงานพัฒนามาแล้วได้ยินไหม
ได้ยินครับ
ยังไม่มีหน่วยงานพัฒนาเมืองนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นรูปอะไรก็แล้วแต่ที่จะทำงานโดยมีภาครัฐเป็นศูนย์กลาง
ครับ
ผู้เชี่ยวชาญญี่ปุ่นใจกล้าพยายามอยู่กับเรา20 ปีไม่เกิดอะไรได้เลยเกิดก็เรียกว่าอะไรนะแต่รูปที่ดินซึ่งค่อนข้างจะแก้งแยกมากมายนะครับมาเลเซียมีพันสัตว์พัฒนาเมืองลงมือทำพุทธจายาได้นะครับผมเมื่อ20 กว่าปีที่แล้ว40เสนอจะตั้งบรรษัทพัฒนาเมืองเดินตอนนี้อยู่มหาไทยของเมืองเดินไปหาเจ้านาย2 คนที่1ด่าเลยผมไม่อยากโกงไม่อยากคอร์รัปชันนะเป็นคนน่ารักจังเลยนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นบรรษัทพัฒนาเมืองเกี่ยวข้องกับเงินผมไม่อยากยุ่งไปหาคนที่2รองอธิบดีตำแหน่งก็คงไม่ใช่หน้าที่ของกรมผังเมืองเป็นหน้าที่ของสภาพัฒน์นะครับบางคนสภาพัฒน์ก็ไม่รู้เรื่องพัฒนาเมืองถ้าคุณแปลนะ
ได้ครับ
ถ้าเมืองไทยอยากจะเริ่มงานพัฒนาให้ได้นะครับมันน่าจะเริ่มที่ไหนนะครับเขาบอกว่าที่เหมาะสมที่สุดทำง่ายที่สุดผู้เชี่ยวชาญใจกล้าบอกนะครับทำไมนี่ของคุณของผมเครื่องมาจากประเทศใหญ่เวลาจะให้มันดังไม่ดังเวลาอย่างนี้มันกวนครับก็คือเราจะเริ่มงานพัฒนาเมืองพัฒนาพื้นที่ของเราที่ผืนใหญ่ที่สุดอย่างย่านพหลโยธินที่ใครๆก็รู้จักที่ตึกถล่มไปนะครับที่ดิน3,000 กว่าไร่ตรงนั้นนะครับมันพอที่จะไปแน่ทั้งระบบเลยแต่ของเราทำไม่ได้ผังก็ทำไปแล้วนะครับกับถ้าเราจะทำแปลงเล็กๆอย่างที่เราคิดจะทำเนี่ยหน่วยงานที่ควรจะเกิดแล้วก็ดูแลตรงนี้เนี่ยเขาแนะนำว่าควรจะเกิดที่กระทรวงอะไรนะครับ
โอเคได้ครับผมอนุญาตโอและแปลก่อนเดี๋ยวผมจะแปลไม่ทันOkay, so basically, with Thailand as the setting, though, we don't really have an institution who actually drive urban development as a whole. There are 2 examples where the gentleman over there mentioned that he did contact the government and they said they don't want to do anything with it because of corruption. There's a lot of money coming in. He contacted a semi-public-private institution and they said no, they don't want to do anything with that as well. In one sentence only.If it's going to happen in Thailand, in which department do you recommend to happen? Which ministry or which organization would you think, well, should happen? One sentence or one word. And I will start with you.
ESV.
With ESV. Okay, so ASA, right, the architect Institute of Siamese Architects Association of Siamese Architects ก็คุณไซฟูดินนะครับบอกว่ามันควรจะเริ่มที่สมาคมสถาปนิกสยามครับขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับคุณอาศิด้วยแล้วกัน next คุณปอทารุกันครับ
maybe the local government should be the kind of have a leadership because I'm not quite familiar with the situation in Bangkok, in Thailand. But usually the area where the TOD has good potential landowners landowners should be, a kind of the body who have the idea to make it, feasible and, realistic. But the coordination should be from the government.
Okay.
That's the most important part.
Okay, so local governments, landowners, and then after that, the government should take forward whatever is going on, right?
And the only one thing I'm not so familiar with that the railway company in Thailand.
Railway company in Thailand.
How they can allow to do the business except beyond the transport business. Do the government allow them to do the real estate development or do the kind of retail business, service business? That's also very important. So in terms of the motivation for the TOD, for the railway company. I think that's another important aspect.
Okay, thank you. So we're talking about local government, landowners, the government and also the rail department within Thailand to actually initiate it. Last but not least, one sentence. You took 7 sentences. I'll find you after.
I'm not sure, but I think DPT or BMA.
BMA.
The only I can say is we can help you. We can assist you.
Is that a promise though?
You can assist. Help.
That's very generous of you. Thank you. So BMA, and then your team will also assist as well, if I'm correct. Any second questions ครับมีคำถามอีกไหมครับคำถามที่ 2ผมว่านี่เราเหลืออีก7 นาทีครึ่งผมว่าถ้าสปีดนี้ผมได้อีกเชิญครับ
What reverse development to bring art เกิด
เดี๋ยวขอไมค์นิดนึงครับ
How to
what reverse development working as earthquake
How to
what COPE what reverse development
ขอบคุณครับคุณลีนะ How to cope with earthquake or disasters? Oh, that's a very good question because we just had a big earthquake a few weeks ago and it was quite devastating. But okay, as a urban development in one sentence again, how do you think we should cope with that? With disasters, earthquake or something along that line, and I'll start with that in first. How do you think a TOD can cope with disasters?
I think TOD includes part or something for disaster prevention. So it's an answer.
Okay. Next.
We remember we had a very big earthquake 10 years ago in Tokyo. So many people get together, trapped in the station. There is no way to escape from there. But the space was quite small. And so in the whole redevelopment project in Japan after the earthquake, require the TOD project to have enough public space to accommodate such evacuators and also the place to keep the place to keep for such people to wait for the other systems will recover, like 2 hours, 3 hours, something. So having such open space, public space is quite important.
So we are talking about an infrastructure that actually allows people to wait in a safe space, right? I remember, because I can share this with you as well, a few weeks ago where we had an earthquake in Bangkok, everyone evacuated the building and stand under the train structure instead.
That's another, because the structure of the infrastructure is quite strong in a sense. So it's a good place to evacuate compared with other normal buildings. We need to have a kind of evacuation plan for that kind of, especially for the very high dense district, right? So yeah, that's an important point.
Thank you Assistant พงศ์พรครับ one sentence อะไรนะครับ yes
บัตรเซ็นก็จบแล้วคือเคยทำในประเทศจีนนะคืออย่างที่จอดรถเนี่ยอาคารจอดรถที่อยู่ใต้ดินเนี่ยก็เป็นศูนย์โหลดไฟนะครับในตัวเองแล้วเราต้องดีไซน์ให้มันต่อกันด้วยคือ connectivity ของอาคารใต้ดินอาคารที่เป็น infrastructure ทั้งหมดเนี่ยต้องมีความต่อเนื่องกันเป็นระบบไม่ใช่ระบบ building to building วันนี้อยากจะฝากเรื่องของการเชื่อมต่อ infrastructure เหล่านี้ด้วยครับเพราะว่าถ้ามันไม่เชื่อมต่อกันเนี่ยมันจะถูกบล็อกด้วยโคดของเราเองนะฮะในเรื่องของ setback รอบอาคารจะทำให้อาคารมันเชื่อมต่อกันไม่ได้อันนี้ก็เป็นเรื่องหนึ่งของ security safety ด้วยครับถูกไหมครับ
So an emphasis on security and safety through connections between infrastructures would actually help in terms of the disaster resilience. Last but not least,
I don't have a definite answer. It all depends on where the site is. Okay, you need to understand the site in the context of the whole city. Who are the people who are staying around it? Okay, and what the population, the number of usage of the station itself. So you need to have all this, and what are the development that you intend to have around. So once you have all this information, then you only can move to the next step. Sometimes you can just propose to have something, but it might not work for that particular station. So every station has different requirements, different context altogether. Like I think, of course, an architect training, first is you understand what's in the environment,
Site analysis.
then you work.
So an emphasis on the site,
Yes.
in particular, because every single site will have a different context that actually plays in between what actually comes in at the end when you deal with disasters at the very end. We have 2 minutes. I think I just when I say
But one short question that if there any are there a lot of TOD project in your country that actually started by the private sector or by non-government sector?
this time let's start with ต้องข้ามไปทางปกครองไหมครับ
ประเทศเดียวกันมันไม่เป็น
ประเทศเดียวกัน
Okay. We'll have you start first.
If it's a question,
Are there any TOD projects
Yeah.
that's initiated by the private sector?
yes,
a lot
Is there a lot of that, or is that very few? Is there many of them, or and are they successful compared to the one initiated by the public?
Oh, I see.
but what the percentage like starting from the government
Yeah.
or the private sector?
The basic difference is that most of the railway companies in Japan are private. It's all or Japan, even Japan Railway have been privatized 20 years ago, or I would say 30 years ago. So they are almost like a developer. They do railway business, but also they do real estate business or life supporting business, hotel, retail, everything. So that's a quite different situation. And another important thing is that they have the property in front of the station or around the station, and they never sell. They keep the land. They don't develop by themselves and do a kind of, it's not for sale, it's a kind of long-term real estate development. That's a kind of successful, the reason for success for the Japanese kind of TOD projects.
So because most of them are private property, that's why they're actually able to do things without the governmental control.
But it's only in Tokyo or also the such metropolitan areas. If you go countryside, of course the government should take a kind of leading role. That's very different.
Okay. Next, architect Saiful.
I think, like what I've explained earlier, okay, the Malaysian context is actually government initiated because the government was the one who set up MRT Corporation, and we are developers. We acquire the land, and to develop the TOD, like what I mentioned earlier, what we do is that we open the tender to get well-established developers with track records to work hand in hand with us together. And I've also mentioned on the slides what are the roles of MRT, what are the roles of developer. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. And just to share with you, for areas where there are no land that is defined as TOD, what I would call the splinter development. So developers will actually acquire land nearby to develop, to take advantage of whatever station over there, which doesn't even have TOD. So that's how it works.
So it's a clear public-private partnership,
Yes.
and then everyone comes in together.
I'm not too sure whether you call it a partnership. It's more of a collaboration, okay? Because the land is actually tendered out to developers, okay? And we don't call one. It's what they call an open exercise. It's not one-to-one. So any top developers can actually participate, and whoever is the best option, okay, will be actually wanted.
Okay, good. Last but not least,
We are a private railway company undertakes a project. It is easier for them to be motivated as its directory serves the interest of the railway business or real estate business, I think.
so you're trying to say that it's from the rail company, right? And then they should do the development according to the interests of the business around the area. Does that mean it has to be site specific, or does that mean the rail company has to be the one pulling everyone all together in that case?
In Japan, some companies are trying to coordinate.
So there needs to be a coordinator to actually get everyone all together.
Yes. Case by case.
Rail companies take a lead, but in a kind of big development case, the local government or Tokyo metropolitan government take a lead to do the whole area redevelopment, because it's not a simple development only by one railway company. It's more district-wide, project, including all landowners and the other, community, retailers, everything. So in that case, only the government can take a leading role for coordination. But the money is coming from the developers or railway companies around. And some, of course, there will be some public investment from the government because it's a kind of infrastructure improvement project. So or the local government will join also, will invest to that kind of development.
And I think this joint collaboration can also be initiated by ASAM as well to actually help guide the whole project through. I believe we have run out of time. If you have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to contact the staff, and also you can leave the questions to the ASA as well. เราหมดเวลาแล้วนะครับสำหรับช่วงนี้ก็ถ้าใครมีคำถามอะไรเนี่ยสามารถสอบถามมาทางเจ้าหน้าที่ได้หรือส่งมาทางที่สมาคมได้นะครับ Last but not least, can we please have a round of applause for all of our speakers? ขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับ speaker ทุกท่านด้วยครับ